Hey, how y'all doing? It's your boy B-Gunz with A1, bringing you another tutorial on mapping MIDI controllers in FL Studio 12. Let's get into it. So we have this mixer up right now. I'm working with a Nektar Panorama P4 MIDI controller, and it has 9 faders, uh, 9 knobs, and another set of 10 knobs, and several different buttons. But how you actually map that to your MIDI controller, you want to go up to the top in this menu pane right here, and you'll see something that looks like a knob. You click it. And once you click it, you go to your MIDI controller and actually you move the parameter first before you go to your MIDI controller. And I'm just going to do insert one in this pan parameter. And then I'm going to move it. Okay. So then after I do that, I go back to the knob on the top, right click, and then you want to override generic links. I don't know why you can't see the drop menu, but override generic links. You click that. And then you go and adjust the actual knob on your MIDI controller that you want to control the parameter with inside the DAW. Like so. So now, once I manipulate my MIDI controller, I don't even have to touch my DAW. Same for any parameter with inside of FL. Now, you have something called deep integration as well, and what that entails, let's do a couple faders, okay? So once again, you go to the knob on the top, click it, and this time we're gonna set more than one parameter at the same time. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? And remember the order. So then you right click the knob that's highlighted, override generic links, and then on your MIDI controller, you touch the corresponding knob that you want to control the parameter inside the DAW. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bam. So now we have the first 7 volume controller knobs programmed and mapped to the MIDI controller. As you can see, each one all the way up until 7. Now, let's do our pan knobs. Click on your knob, and then each parameter you want to control, you touch it and move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right click the same knob, go down to override generic links, and touch the knobs on your MIDI controller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they're all mapped. Now let's do one that's even funner. like a parametric equalizer. Go to your insert, course, get the Fruity Parametric Equalizer 2. Now, even within inside of this equalizer, you can map all of these parameters to any button on your MIDI controller. Let's just do the main frequencies, 1 through 7. Now, keep in mind, just like I programmed the mixer, okay, these MIDI controls that's programmed are only going to go to the mixer when the mixer screen is pulled up. So once you exit it, now those I already have it mapped, but we can go back there and do it. See, whatever module you have open within inside your DAW is going to switch to that set of mapping memory, if you will. So let's just say, just like this is going right now, let's just reprogram them all the way to 7. So we go up to the top. I lost my second camera. Well, all right. So that sucks. Camera went out. You hit your knob at the top once again, and then you go in here and you move each parameter you would like to set. Each one. Remember the order. Remember the order. Okay. 7. So I go 1. Oh, I messed up. Because you have to go back and click override generic links. Let's start over. Click the knob. Move the parameter or parameters that you would like to map. Go back to the knob. Right click, override generic links. Select it. Then you go and manipulate the knob or fader on your MIDI controller that you want to map in order. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So now, and it didn't act right. That's great. See, it didn't work right. So I'm starting over. Click the knob, move the parameters. Right click, override generic links. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there we go. We have all bands being manipulated by my MIDI controller. Now, you also, because I have knobs for each slider, so what I'll do is I'll go and say I want to program my frequency to my knobs. So hit my thumb up there, manipulate the frequency to each one you want to map. Seven bands. Back to the knob, right click, override generic links. Start from the left to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So now I have my low frequency here. Let's say, for instance, Now I can change the frequency straight from my MIDI controller, which is sweet. Okay, so how do we change the bandwidth? Simple. Just like we programmed all the other parameters. Except for me, I'm going to program my bandwidth parameters to a different set of knobs on my MIDI controller. And let me see what the hell is going on with this while I'm doing this. Maybe get my second camera up, because part you need to see what's going on. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Multitasking it. Okay. So I'm going to link my bandwidth knobs or parameters to my set of knobs over here. Once again, you click your knob on the top of your FL. Change each parameter that you want to map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, back to your thumb at the top. Right click, override generic links. Then from the left to the right, you start programming your controls to your MIDI controller. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so let's try it out. There's our bass parameter. I'm manipulating from the MIDI controller. And the frequency. Now let's see if we can manipulate the bandwidth. Oh, there it is. Sort of a steep 8 looking type of ordeal, or fatten it out. And this really is just, it was great for workflow, just to each individual, However, yeah, high frequency bandwidth. Up it down. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And remember, for each individual module within inside the FL, it'll automatically pull up that set of mapping memory to that module. So it's, say for instance, we left off of this EQ and click back into the mixer. All of my knobs and faders are still programmed without having to reprogram them, and still in there. It's really cool to be able to map your keyboard. And this one, it has something what you call deep integration. It'll be hard for me to show you because my sub menus don't show on the screen. I haven't figured out why, but pisses me off too because you need to see it. But anyways, let's go ahead and map something else. Say for instance, what's a good? I'm gonna select a sound generator and map some parameters in the sound generator to the keyboard. Change the sound of it on the fly. Let's open up Nexus. I don't know. Seems like too. Okay, that's not. All right, so let's just say that's not a good one. Let me find one real quick. Okay, yeah. Great example. Great example. Great example right there. So, just like Nexus, we can also map this cutoff parameter to the MIDI controller so you can manipulate your cutoff frequency during, you playing. You know what I mean? Like on the fly. So it's the same principle. And you go to the top, highlight your MIDI controllers link, move the parameter in the DAW, go back to the knob, right click, override generic links, and then you select that knob that you want to control that parameter. And I will just go and select this one. Okay, so now when I play the dope, it's like that. You know how the techno. You could do a lot of cool things too, with macros. Let's see. Pick another sound. Replace. I'm gonna use links for this one. All right. All right. Bam. I'm gonna do this one and this one. Right click. Override generic links. 1, 2. Now when I hit it, every parameter. Just you can have a lot of fun with programming and mapping different controls and parameters, set off different modulations and everything on the fly. And depending on your MIDI keyboard, it itself will have different options as well. Mine's I'm able to actually, hey, you can't really see the sub screen, but I can actually go and pick through my sound bank within any VST straight from my MIDI controller and select it, which is dope. And I'm also able to slide through some menus straight from my MIDI controller, which that's just changing tracks on a sequencer. Then you have, let's see, and I hit shift track and it takes me directly to my mixer, and I'm able to manipulate that straight from the board. Add an insert as well. See, how did I do that? Oh, well, that's gonna be part 2. Advanced MIDI controller mapping to Fruity Loops in the near future. Macros, which is setting up key commands and programming key commands to your MIDI controller. Say, for instance, if you wanted to add a track in some DAWs, you have to, insert a track, and that shortcut key can be programmed into a macro that you then can program to a button on your MIDI controller. That's going to be part 2. Anywho, it's your boy B-Gunz from A1 with another tutorial. Leave any comments or questions down below. Subscribe to the A1 channel. Check out the videos and like it if you do. Guns gone.